So it's oversaturation, studio buyouts by Big Corps, fan fiction, waifus, and we're not doing young characters.
We're not doing young characters.
We're not talking about that because that's danger zone.
Just the general idea of having a waifu.
That's what we'll end on. Yes, our waifus and husbandos. Okay to.
Yeah, is it okay to have a husbando? Is it okay?
Why is it problematic? Yeah. Why do people not seem to like it?
Yeah.
You know.
Alrighty. I'm going to need
A clapper.
the clapper.
Clap on.
Clap on,
Clap
clap
off.
off. Wow, what a hole.
The clapper.
The clapper. And welcome back to Anime Shmanime. Hey. And as you can see here, we are missing someone.
Our dear Jordy.
Yes. So again, for those of you who follow us on social media and are looking at our watch list, unfortunately, Jordy has to take care of some personal business and will not be with us for the next few weeks. So the next couple weeks, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, but also kind of fun because, you know, when Jay and I do these things, it's kind of nice to take a little detour from our regular reviews schedule. And
yeah, I think like a lot of the times we breach topics during our episodes that we don't have the time to get really deep into.
Yeah.
Some big controversial topics that we don't have the time to just segue onto.
Yes.
For 40 minutes in the middle of an episode, you know what I mean? So I think it'll be fun to like kind of maybe dig into some of those topics today. And
that's right, guys.
Yeah.
We are doing controversial. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them.
Yeah.
Most controversial topics in anime. That's right, guys. We are talking about sub versus dub this whole episode. The only thing we're talking about.
Don't listen to him, everybody.
Sub versus dub.
Please don't turn off this episode when you hear that. I promise that's not what we're doing. Although you might not like what we do any better, to be honest, because some of these are like, I don't know, they're hot button issues right now. Like they're very divisive, very kind of touchy topics. So.
Yeah, and these topics, they're not like anime specific, like a certain anime or series specific. Right?
No, we're talking about general anime fandom issues.
Kind of stuff. Because like I mean, we could go on about how, you know, Sakura is useless and like that kind of stuff. But, like,
also, don't worry, guys. We're not going to be debating whether or not Goku could beat Saitama in a fight.
Yeah, or
one of those like exhausting, like tired comparisons that you always get on a lot of these, you know, controversial lists that you see out there.
But if you want that episode, that's next week.
No, it's not. Stop listening to him. Don't unsubscribe. But I think we picked a few good ones. You know what I mean? I think, you know, we'll be able to have a nice kind of flowy conversation to go through them. And yeah, I think they're kind of fun issues to talk about. I'm surprised. I'm surprised some of them are as controversial as they are. We'll get to that, but like, some of them kind of surprised me that like, how is this even an issue?
Well, you know what it is? It comes to like, there's a spectrum of fandom, right?
Of course.
Right. And like, if we take out like, you know, the One Piece fandom, the MHA or the, you know.
Oh, you mean the smelly fandom? The fandom that, according to most convention goers, smells the worst.
Yeah, the MHA one.
Sorry, guys.
Look, I'm an MHA fan. Like I fucking love MHA. But
and
like,
Mikey does not smell bad.
No.
So.
But
breaking the mold.
I mean, breaking the mold. Yeah.
But apparently no. Apparently most of you My Hero Academia fans need to shower.
Yeah.
So.
Look, guys. Good hygiene is a necessity of life.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Regardless of what fandom you subscribe to, you should be showering.
Yeah, it's just good for your overall health. This is a PSA for just your health ad now.
Targeted at our demographic specifically. We need to shower more.
Yeah, guys. girls, whoever.
Truly.
Yeah.
You all stink. I'm joking. I love you. I'm joking.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, now I fucking lost my train of thought.
That's okay. That's okay. I figured out a really sick segue, actually. And it starts off with a question to you. Because speaking of like current anime things that are going on, I'm so, and you guys are going to hate me for this probably, but I'm so out of touch with this current season of anime right now. I don't really know what, like, I know that some of the big ones, obviously, the important ones, the ones I need to know.
You mean the ones that you choose to know?
Well, yeah, but like the ones that are like I've either been following already
Yeah.
or are like the big name ones coming
Yeah.
from the bigger studios because I'm an art snob. So like
Yeah.
I want that budget.
The budget.
Yeah,
So you don't
so
want
I'm
the,
just
like
saying,
the light novels.
I've got some blinders on,
Yeah.
but I've been curious actually to ask you, like as far as what's currently running this season, is there anything that really stands out in either a good or a bad way?
Fuck, I gotta get my list out because honestly, I'm
Just off the top of your head, like what are you like this week? What were you most excited to watch this week, and what were you kind of like another episode of this? Because I know you feel both ways.
I do because I watch like an obscene amount. Like I have like 18 current like simulcast animes that I'm watching.
There's no way you're stoked for all of those, dude.
No.
So tell me the ones you're really stoked for first, and then give me the ones that you're like not as stoked for.
Okay, well, Hell's Paradise is awesome right now.
Paradise?
Yeah, Hell's Paradise is awesome.
Okay, sick.
like that one I'm really stoked for.
I'm
every week.
actually gonna write these down because I want to get some more shows going.
Because so Hell's Paradise is one of them.
Okay.
Here, let me pull
If
up
you
my
guys have
mouth.
watched Hell's Paradise, comment something down below. Tell me whether or not it's worthwhile.
Yeah, Dead Mount Death Play is another one. I mean, the second core of Gundam is out too. So
Okay.
yeah, with the Witch of Mercury.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty stoked on Demon Slayer and Mashle and the Konosuba with that spin-off.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Demon Slayer is like super hype. That first episode drop already?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I guess by the time this episode comes out, 2 episodes will be out. Right?
Yeah, it should be 2 episodes by now.
God, I'm such a bad fucking anime fan. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, see, like this is just the ones I'm simulcasting.
Right,
and then
right.
I have like 6 or 7 that I'm binging in between.
Okay.
And a lot of these animes too, like I watch because something will come out and then I need an in between until I wait for the following
Right.
week for the ones that I do really want to watch. But the ones that I'm not a big fan of is like and it's been a big fucking like sore in the anime community for a while, I think.
Yeah.
Even though like a lot of people love it is how saturated the isekai genre is.
Dude.
Right?
Every time I turn around, there's some new fucking isekai.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, when does the legs run out?
They don't.
Like, I don't get it. Like, I feel like every genre, like, I mean, people always talk about like superhero fatigue with the
Yeah.
Marvel movies. Like, no matter how good or supported something is, it feels like the legs come out from underneath at a certain point and people
Yeah.
give up on it. Isekais, dude, are not going away at all.
No. You know what it is, man? So for me, like, and you too, right? Like, we're both like fantasy lovers, right? And so anime doesn't really do fantasy unless it's an isekai, right? So
That bums me out, man.
right, but here's the thing. So when it does do a fantasy, then you don't have to get like the actual, stat screen and stuff like that, or like item boxes.
Right.
But what it is it's when you get like a derivative off of a derivative off a derivative. So right now I'm watching these 2 different isekais. I'm actually watching more than that, but that's besides the point. There's one that I'm actually kind of really into, and it's I gained a cheat skill in another world, and then I become unrivaled in the real world. Yes,
That's the other thing that might be worse than the number of isekais out there is what they call them.
The length of them.
The names.
Yeah. So that one actually is kind of neat because it's one of the first ones that have come out since like in a long time where a character can go back and forth freely and like on a whim and within their control. Right. They can do that whenever they feel like it. Right. There's a portal that they go to.
Yeah.
And usually once you're isekai'd, it just becomes fantasy. And then normally the whole thing of you being isekai'd there is almost irrelevant because it doesn't have anything to do with the story.
Or it's or it's relevant in the sense that you're stuck there.
Yeah.
And that becomes part of the problem, is that how do I get back?
Yeah, but that's not how it is. Usually, all these stories are, okay, I got isekai'd, sweet. I don't have to live in this crazy world anymore.
They never want to get back?
They don't want to get back. They want to live in this fantasy world, and like, and they're excited to be in, like, in the fantasy, and like I can level up. And usually the only thing that really affects them being from the other world is now that they get some sort of perk. Right. So I'm watching this other one of like, my life as an aristocrat in another world.
Right.
So something like that.
Great name.
Yeah.
A+, 10 out of 10. Love it, dude.
Something like that. I can't remember. Some of these, like, honestly, some of these names are just so long that I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
But that's one of my filler like simulcast animes, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll watch that in the meantime when I finished anything else.
That's a shame. They're so like samey like that, dude.
Yeah. So this one, like, your character gets isekai, he gets killed, and he gets thrown there, and then he just becomes OP. Like he has gods that he has to like get blessings from, and they all just like know that he got isekai there, and they're just fucking with him. And so by fucking with him, they get all the 7 gods decide to give him all blessings at level 10, when everybody else in the world at max get level 5 and maybe 2 gods that give them blessings.
So the gods just make him OP for fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that's their source of entertainment. But like, that kind of happens regardless of the gods doing that. That kind of happens with almost all the isekai.
Damn, dude. That's kind of, I mean, once in a while, obviously it's interesting to take that angle where they want to stay and they want to kind of be there. But like, that makes me have even more love and reverence for like the OG isekai Inuyasha, because like the pull for Kagome between like the real world and feudal Japan was always so interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like obviously she definitely leaned more towards Inuyasha and that world that she got isekai to, but she always had like a reason or a pull back to the real world. Oftentimes like that was her main arc, was she had to get back for some reason and then come back. You know what I mean? Like that was her deal.
Yeah.
They made that interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of lame to just have them sent there and then just be like, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, like, I mean, if we go classic, like Escaflowne, like I know that's like a fever dream for you.
Dude, that show, man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
right?
Yeah.
That one too, she gets sent back sometimes, right? So I like that.
Yeah, so
and
do
then
I.
I guess that's why I really like this new anime that it's the one I don't want to say the fucking title over and over again, but the non-rivaled in the real world, right? So it not only is the animation and is like awesome, like stylistically it is great, and comparatively to like your other generic isekais like they pump out, but the fact that he can go there and when he comes back or brings items back, that's his source of income. Now,
cool.
Right? Like
he's hustling now in the real world with that.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And the only other isekai that I've really enjoyed was recently, I can't remember what it's called again. It's my weird skill of being able to go online grocery shopping as I get isekai, as an isekai. But anyway, I'm butchering the fucking name because it's so fucking long.
Dude, the name's already butchered, dude.
Yeah.
they served that name up pre-butchered.
Yeah, but I like that one only because it's fun in the sense that I love cooking shows and I love cooking anime, and the guy cooks all the time, and he's not OP, but he has familiars that are like straight up OP, and he's just trying to keep it cool, and it's like, okay, I give this one a pass.
But that's part of my problem, dude. I think with like, I guess talking about just oversaturation of certain genres, and with anime being more popular than ever, we're getting more shows than ever, and it just, I guess it kind of bums me out because I feel like I might actually like some of these isekai shows, like I really do, and I do like some of them. There's some isekais I've watched I've enjoyed. I just generally stay away from them because of that oversaturation, because I do feel like there's a high likelihood I'm going to be wasting my time, and that sucks extra because I'm now missing out on the actual good ones.
Yeah, that's why you have me, because I watch them all so I can.
But
vet
not
them for
everybody
you.
has a Mikey that they can go to and just be like, which ones are stupid and which ones aren't. You know what I mean? Not most people don't have that. So I feel like it's a disservice to the genre for them to be oversaturating it the way that they are. You know? Something that bumps me out, I think, about anime as a whole is that instead of like it's quantity over quality these days.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer, man.
Well, it's true. Like the other thing too, like I said before, is the derivative on the derivative, right? Like
Triple spin-off.
Triple spin-off, or not even just triple spin-off. Like it's like, you know, it's literally a carbon copy by either, you know, let's send somebody in an isekai world, and let's see which profession we're going to send over there. So there's like one about, you know.
They're just swapping out jobs.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's the same fucking show.
Yeah, right? Like, so let's send a handyman there. Let's send a postman there. Let's send and then see what that would be like if a postman or a handyman was there, and then go that way. And then the other one.
I guess if this is your favorite genre,
well,
maybe.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. This is how I get my fantasy fix, because I love fantasy so much. But the other one, though, it's like there was that, you know, my mom and her multi-strike attack fucking can't remember. That was with the weird relationship between mom and the MILF and the and her son. But now there was another anime that came out, or an isekai that came out this season, where it's called again, I'm gonna butcher these names. My sister and her single hit combo, or single hit like kill isekai, where like he's like, you know, she's OP and he's kind of like a dud. But it's like, I mean, the sister's super hot. I'm like, you're definitely going to get a sister complex anime, which is just the same thing as the mom and son, right? Like it's all there. Like the formula's there.
That's it, man. I tap out on that one, dude. You started bringing in the fucking weird incest shit into this one. I'm gone, man. I was already 1 foot out the door with the isekais, but the sister complex is coming in now. It's like, man, how many more like weird, awkward tropes can they throw at this genre?
see, my thing is, it's fine to have isekais. Maybe just not have so many isekais.
Exactly.
And then not make them all harems. That's the other thing too. They're all fucking harems. And just kind of vet out as many of them so that you're really trying to like pump out quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
Right? Things that are really different. But then again, like some people just love fucking isekais. And I really think it comes down to like escapism, right? Being able, like, how great would it be? Because our world fucking sucks. Let's be real right now.
For real, dude. I get it.
Yeah.
That's why I like fantasy though, right?
Yeah.
Because like I can do a good enough job at escaping to that world without the story literally taking somebody out of this world and placing them there. It's so literal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, if you love that mechanic, I guess, but like, for me, man, I'd rather be getting like more series like Claymore or like Berserk or like actual or Seven Deadly Sins is another great example, right? Or like, you know, something Black Clover, you know, Vinland Saga obviously is a little more historical based, but like you can give me medieval fantasy without it having to be straight up isekai mechanics.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And that's, you know,
I mean, we see memes on this fucking subject all the time, right?
Yeah.
But I would fucking love. Oh my god, I know it's never gonna happen, but you just said like one of my like favorite animes or like mangas and Claymore. Like, dude, you would love to watch. Like, if they redid Claymore,
I've watched a good chunk of the regular, like OG Claymore.
Yeah, but the manga goes on for so much longer, and like the character designs are just such cool. Like,
I think I might actually switch to the manga.
Yeah, the body fucking horror, shit. Like, it's just so fucking cool.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing is like I really love like Japanese take on fantasy, like Dark Souls, like all the From Software shit, like, you know, obviously that being basically just taken from Berserk, but like it's all recycled Berserk, let's be real. But like that gothic edge that they tend to have is so cool and not explored, and instead we get like, you know, 8 shows about slimes. You know?
Okay, I will say the reincarnation I was once reading or whatever.
I will, from what I've heard,
I do like that one.
From what I've heard, that's one of the better ones.
Yeah, because Shion is my waifu.
And actually, as a way to kind of transition off of talking about isekais, because my brain is melting, just to put a cap in isekais, if you were to recommend, if somebody out there has like never watched one or they've been avoiding them like me, and you were to recommend one really good isekai from the past, I don't know, let's not go too far back, past 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
Honestly, one that would jump out. Slime?
Yeah, Slime is a good one if you want something more lighthearted.
Yeah.
But I would actually say this is really popular. I mean, it's ReZero. ReZero. Like, it's the first one that really took all the tropes and flipped it on its head a little bit. And it's pretty much like, because you haven't watched Steins Gate, right?
No.
So it's essentially an isekai version of Steins Gate. And it's really cool in that way. So when it originally first came out, it was pretty fresh. Nice. It felt fresh.
There you go. Right, so, nice. That's a good recommendation. Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Okay, well, enough about fucking isekais. Let's talk about another annoying fucking topic. More annoying to you than it is for me, I think, on this one. But I want to get your angles on it. And I want to maybe say a few of the things that I've been feeling or noticing, because we're both living in this world where these big studios or these big companies are basically buying up the distribution rights and, you know, who knows what other rights to anime, right? Prime example that everybody might know about, obviously, would be Disney. Basically, who did they buy? Like
they bought. Well, I think they're buying a particular studio. I can't remember what they're called again.
But they're getting the distribution for a ton of high-end anime right now.
Well, they got Thousand Year Blood War for Bleach. And then they got Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah.
They also got
that Tatami Galaxy movie, which we don't all love Tatami Galaxy, but like that's still a big pickup for Disney Plus.
They also have, I can't remember the other one. What's the other one? Parrot. Anyway, this is my thing. I have two schools of thought with it because I remember when Disney bought out Marvel, and I thought they were going to absolutely fucking destroy it.
Right.
Some
people would say they did.
I think they did a good job in keeping Marvel alive in the comic industry. As far as Disney and the cinematic world, it definitely again got oversaturated and it became kind of formulaic. But I think they did a really good job in the first stage, kind of bringing it more to the forefront because it made fucking superheroes really cool again.
I don't know how much Disney had to do with that. You know what I mean? Like that, the MCU was chugging along at an insane pace when Disney picked them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't remember exactly what movie would have been like the first one under Disney. But like, I do feel like at a certain point, you're right. Like the oversaturation hit. It was almost like they had too much money to work with. And they just started throwing it around in all directions because Disney money, dude.
Yeah, Disney money.
Nothing touches Disney money, dude.
So the thing about Disney money is
they're richer than most countries. I'm serious,
dude. It's not just Disney. I'm not gonna get into this because this is a deep dive. but because I'm not gonna get into like the companies that own other companies. But Disney owning or getting into anime and partnering with certain anime studios is good in this one way because of money.
Yes.
Right? And so the bigger budget allows for, nicer animation,
more projects,
right? And all that kind of stuff. The one thing that I dislike about it is that, okay, not everybody can afford subscribing to Disney Plus or Hulu or whatever, right? And so if for people who want to support the actual mangakas and all that stuff, sometimes by buying a subscription is a great way to do that, but not everybody can. So, right, I mean, that's why you have the pirated sites and to be able to watch them for free. Right. So
which isn't a good thing. I mean, it's there, it's available, but you don't want to encourage people to be pirating if you can avoid it.
Yeah, if you can avoid it, for sure. But I mean, at the same time, I'm also in the school of thought that the media is out there, and if you can get it and you want to watch it and you can't afford it, it's fine. I'm not gonna say it's fine, but you know what I mean, guys.
Right, he's saying, do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do, guys. Do what you got to do.
No, and I mean, I definitely agree that it's annoying to have all these different streaming companies all trying to vie for being the number one source of anime, right?
Yeah.
Because you're right. A lot of people can't afford to have a fucking Funimation account, a Crunchyroll account, a fucking Disney Plus account, a Netflix account.
Yeah.
You know, like at a certain point, it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, can we get this all under one roof, please, so people can actually form a community behind it and support it properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the other thing too, is that it's going to be like the producers and all that stuff are going to be people that don't actually watch anime, right?
Maybe.
I am making some assumptions here.
Yeah.
Mainly because I have a gripe with major big corporations.
I get that fear though.
Yeah.
I definitely get that fear. I believe me, nobody wants their anime to get more American less than I do. Okay.
Yes.
Like I don't want Western influence on my anime like at all, if possible. I'm a very self-loathing Western human being. I don't like our culture and I don't want it seeping in. Okay. It's actually a miracle that I like My Hero.
Yeah.
Considering how much that is just lifted from Western culture.
Yes.
Like it should annoy me, but again, they've put that Japanese spin and lens on it that it's okay for me, right?
Yeah.
But I like my anime from Japan. I like it with Japanese influence and Japanese culture and Japanese style, and like I want it to be informed by Japan.
And I guess this is the other thing too, right? Because we're a North American podcast, and like a lot of our fan base is North American, or like just the anime community that we are engaged in is North American, right? People are looking at all this anime through their North American perspective or sensibilities, right? Right. And so when they see something different, like that is more catered to the Japanese sensibilities, we're like, yeah, obviously, because anime is made for Japanese people.
Yeah,
they're not made
Japanese people.
By Japanese people, right? So
they all share the same culture, and they're making it for each other.
Exactly.
We're just interpreting it basically as aliens from another fucking planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like aliens coming down and being like trying to understand Friends. You know what I mean? It's like
that is an awful. That Friends did not age well.
No, but like this is what I mean. Like, do you think aliens would understand why like this small generation of people are obsessed with Friends? They would not get it, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
The same way Western people shouldn't necessarily expect to get like Japanese culture and be able to produce anime and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are exceptions, and I know there's a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender fans out there that are screaming at me that there's an American production or a North American production that totally did anime justice.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, so I'm not going to give my opinion on that more than I already have.
Well, I've watched all of it, and I love. Like, I mean, I have Appa sleeping in one of my fucking detals.
I know you're a huge fan,
right? But it is not an anime because anime is strictly Japanese. It is a North American anime.
Right.
You have to, I feel like you have to give it that title.
Yeah.
Because it is strictly produced in North America.
Right.
Right.
Now, I guess my question then, follow up for some of your concerns is like, have you noticed anything in what you've watched, say, that has been owned by Disney that has felt manipulated or has felt maybe influenced or like it's different because it's coming out through Disney? For example, I'll give an example of one that I think has been pretty much untouched, which is Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah.
That was one where I wasn't quite sure how that one was going to shake out. Having read the manga, they're just following the manga.
Yeah.
And the animation quality is just the same as the first season, if not actually worse, maybe. So like the Disney money didn't make it there, So like there's just an example though of something that Disney is truly just distributing, and not touching.
Yes.
But I just wasn't sure if you felt it elsewhere, like for example, maybe like Star Wars Visions.
See, so that's the other thing where Star Wars Visions and Lucasfilms.
And Disney, because that was the thresome that made that.
That made that, and so I think that one was okay, and it's cool to be able to see them bring over, Western influence, like the X-Men anime, right? Like I love the X-Men anime because I think the animation is amazing. Story-wise, it's kind of bland, but like it's still cool, right? But
a lot of people don't know about that, by the way. But if you guys have never looked that up, there's straight up an X-Men anime, like
X-Men anime
from Japan.
Iron Man,
Yeah.
Wolverine.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see the fucking Phoenix arc in that animation style.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, it's so good. I love that animation style.
Mikey
Anyway.
just jimsed. His
Yeah,
pants.
Jim's in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I do feel right now that they're just kind of picking up. Right. So they're only really getting things that are already kind of made and getting the distribution rights until they can actually put their hands in it. But with Star Wars Visions, it was cool to be able to see that they did hire multiple studios, like Trigger and whatever. But, you know, to make like that kind of anthology series almost. So
Absolutely. And the second series is coming out.
Yeah.
Very, very shortly.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have to cover some Star Wars Visions or something.
Well, we're supposed to for fucking Jordy's birthday if Jordy can ever get his shit sorted. I'm sorry, Jordy, if you're ever watching this. I know you have to deal with some serious stuff.
We're just busting
but
your balls.
Yeah.
We love you.
We love you. You can't defend yourself, so I'm good. Oh, okay.
But
Enough
yeah,
about fucking corporations. It's just getting
Disney gets enough talk, honestly, these
anyway.
days. I will be interested though when we get our first full-fledged like in-house Disney produced anime.
Yes.
Because I really feel like that's got to just be around the corner. With the popularity of anime right now, them all of a sudden picking up all these shows on their streaming service, it's just a matter of time before like Disney Animation Studios puts out something that looks like anime.
Well, and that's the thing too, right? I've seen it with Netflix, right? Now, because Netflix does a lot of their own anime.
Yeah,
right?
the originals. Although with that, like, I think they're just buying that title.
Yeah, but I've seen one where I can't remember what it was called, but essentially it was a North American guy went to Japan to produce it, but it was still his, love child.
Was it Castlevania?
No, but I feel like that's a North American anime.
Yeah.
Right, but this
But
one,
it's very North American.
but very North American.
Yeah.
Same with this anime; it had a very North American feel, but stylistically was closer to an actual anime.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I kind of dropped it, and I don't really remember the title.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
yeah. Anyway, guys, I don't know how you guys feel, but you guys can put it in the comments. And if while you're doing that, you can subscribe.
Oh, nice. Nice. I would have fucking forgot, dude. Completely. All right, with our structure just being kind of like off right now or a little different, I'm just all fucked up.
Yeah, we're just kind of having fun, man.
Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Please subscribe.
Yes,
Yeah.
please like and subscribe. Tell a friend because that's really how we get known. And if you can go to Apple Podcast, leave us a review and give us 5 stars. That really helps.
Yeah. We love that you guys support us in all your various ways, but there are definitely some ways that I think help a little more than others as far as like stupid algorithm crap is concerned.
Yeah.
But that's one way that would really help us keep going and growing and doing what we're doing is Apple Podcast reviews, Spotify.
Spotify.
They do reviews as well?
I don't know if Spotify does reviews, but you guys can rate us.
Yeah, rate us.
Rate us.
That's what
rate
I
us
mean.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
Rate us on all
Please.
fucking different platforms. Just go to all of them. Sign all that shit in and just give us 5 stars. We love you. I'll suck you off.
I won't, but no, for real, guys. We owe like all of our growth and all of our continued success to you guys.
Yeah.
Like we do this for you guys, and if you guys weren't here, I don't know how long we would do this. But
That's actually very true.
but honestly, it means the world that you guys are here at all, and all your support means the world. And just thank you for anybody who's already given us a review or a rating. That means so much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so let's go. Let's move on to the next controversial thing.
So I brought up at the beginning of the episode how I thought that there were some topics that I just couldn't even believe there were debates about. But you're right. It is a hot fucking topic, and people have weird, divisive opinions about it. But I want to talk a little bit about the world of fan fiction.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to level set right off the top, especially to any of our fans.
Qualify.
any of our fans out there who read, enjoy, or produce their own fan fiction, that I stand with you and I support you, and I think it's cool that you are finding this form of expression and artistry, and I believe that there is a lot of that in fan fiction, and that it's not cheap, and that it is not shouldn't be looked at as theft or illegal. But I just want to say that right off the top.
Or
I
degrading,
am pro
right? Like
fanfic.
right? Like people judge people who
Well, tell
make
me,
fanfic,
you
right?
brought
Like,
this up. You'd mentioned to me that, like, you know, you'd seen some weird, crappy opinions online towards fan fiction writers or enjoyers.
Yeah.
And I was surprised because I'm like, why do people care?
Well, this is the thing. So this is a very biased. Like, I mean, you and I are both on the same page as far as fanfic goes, because at the end of the day, it's like this like. And it's just social media in general. Because when I'm on TikTok or any other socials, and I just see all these people who like bully people or say mean things, or you know, you got that toxicity from the community, right? Over fan fiction, right? Like, this is a shit that people generally, they're so like immensely attached to.
Yeah.
Right. So like, you have a character that you are just so immensely attached to, and it enrages you because someone else has produced fanfic of it. So usually they
Unofficial,
not canon.
doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter at all
To anyone other than who's reading it.
Yeah, anyone who else. Yeah, other than the ones who are just enjoying that form of media.
Yeah.
Right.
And it makes them mad.
I'm like, why? It has no bearing on you.
I know.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, like, how does it affect you in any way? It's like when people can't scroll it's keyboard warriors, but that's what it is, right? At the end, it's either keyboard warriors or, you know, someone who's just looking to hurt people.
Well, I think it's interesting
Right?
because, like, at first glance, your gut reaction when you look at, you know, the two different, because you're talking about two different types of fans here, right?
Yes.
And I think at first glance, if you were to look at each of them, it's two different types of fans, but like to your average non-anime fan, the one writing the fanfic might initially come off as the weird one.
Yeah.
Or as the one that makes you feel uncomfortable. But it's when you dig a little bit deeper and you see it's the people who are anti-fan fiction that are actually troubling.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because these are people that'll actively go out and attack and demean and put down people that are doing this. They're going out of their way to be shitty and mean and nasty about something that, like you said, ultimately doesn't really affect them because they are so protective and obsessed over their character. It's like we have two different fans that are obsessed in their own way, and to your average person, one looks unhealthy, but it's actually the opposite, dude.
Yes.
It really, really is,
dude,
man.
honestly, because it's like it's fan fiction is all generally, for those of you who don't read a lot of fanfic or Dejoshin, it's usually like they're shipping two characters that, you know, weren't shipped in.
That doesn't always happen, but that's what people get. That's what people get upset about.
But
is when people do that.
Yeah, or they change their sexual orientation. I mean, these guys are fucking fictional characters.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if you're so obsessed with this one character, and you're gonna get mad at people who write fan fiction over it, why are you going and reading the fan fiction in the first place so that you get mad?
Stop seeking it out. Literally, dude.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
And like this is like some bigger picture like topic conversation stuff, just about like freedom of expression and artistic freedom and creative freedom, because, you know, you can correlate this to anybody who maybe doesn't understand like the fan fiction things. I always think about like stand-up comedy. Okay. The kind of people that would buy tickets, spend their money to go to a stand-up comedy show just to protest the show and yell at the comic and try and cancel them, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, these are people that are going out of their way to attend a show they don't have to attend.
Yes.
To listen to jokes that they don't have to listen to.
Yes.
Just to go be outraged. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's the same kind of like unhealthy behavior that we're seeing here with fan fiction. You don't have to read it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the websites, and you also don't have to be friends with people who talk about it or write it, or if it makes you feel uncomfortable, if it's triggering something in you about your favorite character that you don't like and whatever, then just don't look. Oh my God. It's like hentai.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? Your favorite character in all of anime, guess what, guys? There's a hentai out there of them being like brutalized, okay?
Yes.
I hate to say it to you, trigger warning, okay? But that exists. And if you're getting mad over somebody writing a romance between two characters, God forbid you find yourself on a hentai website and see what might be happening to your precious little character, okay?
I know.
Because it's a disgusting world, and all you have to do is not look.
And if you do want to find it, it's Rule 34.
Well, yeah, it's easy to find if you want to find it. But I'm just saying, all these protective people out there, I think, just need to get a grip.
Yeah.
And
my thing, again, it becomes a bigger conversation, like you said, not even so much about the fandom, but just people in general. It's just that we're already living in such a divisive and polarized world that, why do we need more of that in a place where we all have something in common and a common ground? And like, it's okay to not like something that somebody else likes, right? It's like the One Piece toxic One Piece fans, or the toxic MHA fans, right? Like it's just you get a group of bad apples, right, that really have such a loud voice, right? Because everybody else isn't like that, right? Generally, most people, are supportive, and because they just want you to be around people that are like-minded and nerd out about shit together, right?
Yeah. But it's tough, I think, because and it's kind of maybe unique to anime, but people seem to have this sense of ownership over these characters.
That's the other thing, right?
And I find it kind of maybe unique to anime as well. I don't see it quite as much in other kind of fandoms in the world. Obviously, you do. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of people out there, one person who comes to mind recently from non-anime world was Eddie from Stranger Things. The way that guy took the world by storm, okay?
Yeah.
Like, the amount of fan art and fan fiction and all this stuff that probably exists of that guy out there is, like, insane, right?
Yeah.
But, like, that's every character in anime.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? You do make a really good point, because when I'm thinking about it now, like, I can't think of any other fandom that really feel like they own the material. Like, even like Harry Potter fans or Star Wars fans, even Star Trek fans. Like, Star Trek, there's like a bit of like, Star Trek is better, Star Wars is better, but like, that's not even that bad. But it's when people in our community like feel like they own it and they're the best thing ever. It's like they birth this animation. I'm like, or manga or these characters. I'm like, no, the media is out there because the mangaka or the creators put it out there for everyone.
They want to share it with you.
They want to share it. It's
They're giving it to you.
Yeah, everyone to enjoy.
Yeah. It's yours now as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So technically, it is everyone's.
Yeah.
So not just yours.
Basically, let people like what they like.
Yeah, you know what, guys? Just if you're listening to this and you feel the opposite way, you can, maybe put some of your points down on why you think it is.
Yeah,
but,
tell us.
But honestly, at the end of the day, just be a good person.
Literally.
Just be a good person. Just be okay. Just like, you don't have to like what other people like.
But
it's okay.
If they're not, also if they're not hurting anybody, then like,
That's
honestly,
the thing.
Let them like what they like. Just because you made Gojo and Geto from Jujutsu Kaisen gay together, which is maybe something I really wish would happen in the story, it doesn't make you a bad person. You're not hurting anybody. You're not hurting Gojo.
Yeah.
You're not hurting Geto. Like, it's okay for you to write a little story about them going on a date together, guys.
Yeah.
It's cute. And if you think that there's something truly wrong with that, get help. Seriously, get help. Because there are so many more serious things to worry about than people writing fan fiction.
Yeah.
Often for their own pleasure and joy.
Yeah, it's again,
they're writing it for themselves. They're not trying to get it published. They're not trying to spread it around.
Yeah.
They're not trying to sneak it in as like a real chapter of a manga. It's like, oh my God.
Fully self-expression and fan fiction.
It's
fantasy.
like fan art.
And I think it's in the name too. Like, it's fantasy fiction, right? Like, fan fiction.
Sure.
Right? You could kind of even look at it like that.
Yeah.
Like, this is my own personal fantasy.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And yeah. Anyway,
that was a pretty easy one to shut down. But I was just interested because like it really is like divisive, more divisive than I thought, and. Yeah, I just think there's just a lot of sick, sad people out there who need to get some fucking help.
And that's the thing. Like, I see some of my friends, like online too. Like, you know, they get bombarded, like online. Like, and it's funny because we all know that the keyboard warrior can always say something and feel like they're invincible without consequence and stuff like that. But it's like that really comes down to like the type of person you are and like why would you not want to choose kindness or an understanding at the beginning, right? Like
some people just aren't wired that way, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Oftentimes I think it's bored people. I think it's people who lead uninteresting lives who
they like the drama.
They need to do something to make their life a little bit more interesting, and usually the easiest thing is to just hop on the internet and send a mean comment because it requires no thought or energy or spine to do so.
I'm a pot stirrer. I love stirring the pot. But like, there's fun ways to do it.
Sure.
And because especially with a close group of friends, because you know you can get them riled up.
Yeah.
But then there's a line that you really need to consider when someone's actually feeling hurt by it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just take a step back sometimes and realize there's a world outside the first foot in front of your face.
You know what we need? We need we need that one common enemy where all anime fans from all spectrums can all unite against.
Is it Disney?
No, I think I mentioned this before. So a while ago, there was this woman who was like saying on TikTok, like, oh, you know, as adults, like, are we watching anime? Is that still a thing? I don't want to be mean or anything. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you are being mean. Yeah. And like, so, but then every anime fan united. Yeah. Like they put their own bickering aside against this one woman who just didn't understand anime and was kind of making fun of us and bullying us. Right. I'm like
gang.
Gang. I'm not saying like we should just, you know, all try to always find and unite against an enemy, but
no, but when we're under attack, we need to stand up for ourselves.
For sure,
absolutely,
right? But just maybe have more of that.
Yes.
Anyway, that's enough of that one.
Well, let's keep everyone nice and divided, okay? And let's talk. We're going to come up to our last topic. I think we're probably going to run out of time after this one. But this is a hot one, and this is a real hot one for Mikey, okay? Because just like there's a lot of divisive opinions on fan fiction on the internet, there's a lot of divisive opinions on whether or not the idea of a waifu or a husbando is okay or not. And if that might be a problematic idea, title, description. You know, I don't want to dig too deep on the issues with assigning that title to young characters. Yeah. I think we're going to maybe actively avoid that topic.
That's a whole nother discussion. Yeah. That's like a whole nother chapter, but
maybe we'll put that one on the OnlyFans or the Patreon as like a separate episode.
Yeah, because that one gets like can get really sticky and really ugly.
Yes.
Right. Where this one, like, it can be sticky and ugly too, but like not.
We're gonna keep it on the other side of the train tracks for this conversation. But overall, this idea of assigning the title of waifu to a fictional character, and saying basically,
or husband,
you're my ideal wife or husband.
Yeah. That's to me. To me,
so where does the issue lie with this one on the internet? Do you think? Like, is that like?
So I think what a lot of it is like, it's truly non-anime fans that come into anime spaces.
Yeah.
And judging people for liking or being attracted to a fictional character,
right?
A 2D character,
cartoon,
right? Right, and not understanding that if that's okay, no one's getting hurt, right? Like, I'm not victimizing anyone,
exactly,
right? Like, there's
the cartoon character doesn't know they're being called waifu.
Yeah, or I can't hurt a fucking anime character's feelings.
Yeah.
Right? I can't oppress them.
Right.
Because there's not real.
Yeah, they're a cartoon.
Yeah.
They don't exist.
Yeah, like so if we want to talk about waifus, we also should talk about, like, in North America, we did the same thing with heavy metal. Do you remember that? Heavy metal magazines and stuff like that?
What about them?
So they would depict paintings or cartoon women,
Yeah.
right, and then sexualize them, and then you would have people who would love specific North American characters, right? And it just wasn't as widely, I guess, not so much accepted, but like when it first came out, I was like, we were talking like 80s and 90s, right?
Sure.
So it's been something that like every culture has done.
It's true. It's just a bit more hidden in North America, right? Because
Yeah.
like even if you look at like North American comics, right? Like you got things like Red Sonja,
Yeah.
and like some of these like some of these like North American comics that were basically hentai,
Yes.
more or less, but just there's an entire culture in Japan around it, whereas in
Yeah.
North America it was like a few comic distributors were putting out a few adult comics.
Yeah.
Under the table.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it. You kind of have to know about it.
Yeah, you have to be in the inn. It's not really there.
Whereas in Japan,
open.
it's on fucking t-shirts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. That is really the only difference.
yeah.
And again, it goes back to the whole thing of like Western audiences or Western people looking it through a Western lens.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? And so I think it is totally fine because some of these fictional characters are better than real humans.
You're right. They are
like,
idealized versions of things.
yeah.
They've been designed that way.
Yeah, exactly.
These guys are creating these girls to make you fall in love with them.
Yeah.
They've selected features and traits.
Yes.
Because they know guys like it. Or
Yeah,
girls for
girls,
husbandos.
yeah, or husbandos,
or guys
or guys
for husbandos.
husbandos, or
For
like-
anyone, for whatever you like.
Yes. You gotta
Let me get in front of that one right away. Okay? Whether you like husbandos, waifus,
Yes.
or
if
any
you guys,
combination.
If you guys have been following us for a while,
You know.
you know.
We love you.
We love you guys.
Yes.
But it's you just fucking keep taking
Not it.
money.
I had to jump on that real quick.
Yes. But this is what I'm saying though, right? Like if somebody does have a waifu, husbando, or a non-binary crush, an animated crush, like again, who is that hurting? The
Yeah.
only thing that I can see is that sometimes the women specifically are portrayed in such a way in anime that is problematic.
Yeah.
Right? And
Brings up some other questions about that person if they're picking her.
Yeah.
When there's all these other ones to pick from that
No,
aren't problematic.
Not so much that one
Okay.
because I mean like I most of my waifus are like the ones that want to kill you.
yeah. But I more so mean like like people like selecting out of the entire crop one that looks 10 years old.
Okay. Yes. So that one. Yes.
That's
so
what I'm saying. Yeah.
So there's that, but we're not gonna go there because that's gonna be a fucking.
We chose not to talk about that.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
But like that's the kind of thing that I personally think is definitely troubling about waifus.
Yeah. Exactly. So I agree. My point was going to be more so the impact on society.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
So for us in North America that has a slightly more progressive way of thinking, right? And so everybody who's watching it within North America and dislikes how, women are portrayed in anime, we see a lot of the more problematic things. And you know what? In anime in Japan, I think a lot of people probably do see the same thing. Right, but it's more socially accepted there because it's something that is oversaturated and is always in your face, and probably they're burnt out about
They're
it.
desensitized.
Desensitized. That's a better word.
Yeah.
Desensitized to it, and or they also enjoy it because that's part of their culture, right? I mean,
Which is also okay.
right? And then you also have a lot of these mangakas are men,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Right, who are also living out, what their ideal woman would look like,
Yeah.
right, and stuff like that. But I do feel like that could become quite problematic.
Yeah,
But again,
I
I
was
am
gonna say.
not a person or a Japanese person who lives in Japan that can really comment on that, and I'm only
Yeah.
saying that based on my Western and North American and my own Asian sensibilities.
Sure.
Right.
Well, I think you're right. Like the real world implications, I think, is the real conversation to be had here. And
Yeah.
and I wouldn't know either because, again, I'm not somebody who lives in Japan, and I'm not really somebody who's being my demographic and my, where I would categorize myself as a person isn't being represented by anime in any real way, shape, or form. So I would be interested to hear from people maybe who live in Japan, to know like how, or single people who are dating, people who are trying, to find love or whatever. How has this affected things? As somebody who is femme presenting, do you feel pressure to look like your partner's waifu? You know what I mean? People who are mask presenting, like, do you feel pressure to look like Lloyd Forger or fucking Gojo? You know what I mean? Are you feeling real world pressures to live up to these crowned husbandos and waifus from anime? Is the culture so strong
in Japan
that it's affecting their ability to date and find love? Because if it is, then this concept of waifus and husbandos is getting out of hand. Yeah. Because people will never live up to an anime character.
Oh, or a fictional character ever.
It is dangerous and toxic to bring that that expectation into a relationship or into any situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that might be part of where people get hung up on waifus is like, you're obsessed with a waifu for 10 years and you finally meet the girl of your dreams. Are you going to try and turn her into that waifu?
Yes, and that's where it gets scary, right?
Yeah.
Because like I'm married. My wife is nothing like any of my
waifus.
My waifus, right? Right? Like we save kittens and like, you know what I mean? Like
she hates anime.
She hates anime, right? I mean that should be grounds for divorce, but but I'm just kidding. But like but that's the thing, right? Like being able to fully separate fiction and what you enjoy and real life, because those are very two different things. It's like that anime we were talking about at the beginning, the isekai, where you're able to go back and forth. Yeah. Right? This is how you go back and forth. You dabble in the fun anime stuff and you really enjoy, collect figures. Yeah. And really like the characters and have crushes on them. And then go do the things that you need to do in real life and also be present in IRL too, right? Like it's and also you could be with somebody who loves anime just as much as you do, also has all that stuff, right? It's all about kind of finding that balance. But if you're just stuck in the anime world,
it can be dangerous.
It can be very dangerous. And that's not just anime world. That's any kind of fictional world, right?
No, I agree, man. People, like, fandoms have gotten so intense and people are so passionate about these things that it really does become their whole fucking identity. Yes. And they can't separate it. Their boyfriend needs to be Gojo or whatever. You know what I mean? Their work needs to be in, a manga shop or a figure store or, you know what I mean, working for a cosplay. They need every single facet of their life to be anime. Yes. And I support that level of obsession and fandom. I love it. I love that energy.
Because we both know we are both like
in so many ways we're like
super geeks, right? Like exactly.
And I totally back that, but I just think people sometimes do need to take a step back, gain some outside perspective, like you said, touch grass if you need to. And just understand there is a world outside of that and that it's okay to go back and forth sometimes. Yes. It doesn't make you less of a fan. It doesn't make you less passionate. You're not abandoning your husbando because you go get a boyfriend who's different than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, you can love more than one person or fictional person, right? But that's the thing. Okay, I want to say this. Like, you as a person, like we as people, just in general, are more than our hobbies. We are more than our interests. We are more than just our single passions. Yes. We are so much more. We are so much more complicated. We are so much, there's all these other things that really make us up of who we are. And just don't forget that, because you don't have to just be all in on one thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
The other thing too, and I think the reason why waifus and husbos and anime in general will never go away, it is the fucking most profitable thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, look at all the fucking figures and the lewd figures and like the all that stuff. Like, I mean, if I had like all the money in the world, all my figures wouldn't probably be prize figures, right? Like,
well, dude, I mean, it's crazy over there, right? Because I mean, if you were to put, not that magazines sell a lot these days, anyways, but if you were to put in Japan in a magazine stand somewhere, Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, and on the cover you've got, you know, one of the top Japanese supermodels, like real life supermodels, on one cover, and then you've got Makima, in a bikini on the other cover. I guarantee you, one is going to sell out before the other does.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guarantee you,
dude. It's like when Udon comes out with Street Fighter stuff, right? And then they usually have like their swimsuit edition, a comic of all the Street Fighter girls and guys, and I'm like,
it's just different
Chun-Li
over there, man. It's truly just different.
Bikini is fucking sweet.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. Chun-Li, like, I'm proud of my Chun-Li look here, guys. She has survived the test, like the test of time. The test of time, right? Like she was my very first waifu, and this is back in like Street Fighter 2, the animation days, and that was in like the 90s, early 2000s.
Thick thighs save lives, man.
And she is to this day very prevalent in the current anime fandom.
Absolutely, man.
She is still very prevalent. She is still very much so there. She may not be the forefront, right? But she is there.
It's cool how they've aged her up too.
Yeah, especially the new Street Fighter.
Yeah, she's like looking kind of like middle-aged almost. It's hot.
She looks really good.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, the mechanics also, when she like falls, some parts jiggle.
Oh yeah, jiggle mechanics.
Gotta
love them.
Yeah, you guys gotta love them.
And you guys gotta love us, and we hope you loved that episode.
Yes.
Because that kind of caps it off. That was fun, man.
That was fun.
I hope you guys liked it. You know, we talked about some hot button issues. We hope this kind of generates some discussion. You know what I mean? Like, talk to us in the comments. Talk to us in the Discord.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know where I am on my socials.
That's right.
TikTok on Shmanime Pod or Instagram or all that good stuff.
And maybe we'll do this more if you guys like it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like almost like a news roundup almost. Although this isn't like super hot news, but it's like, you know,
it's something that we haven't done yet.
I like it though. We could keep doing this. We just got to come up with a few topics every time, and just every once in a while we'll talk about what's happening in anime.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's the thing. Like, our formula generally is, you know, reviewing anime, especially when Jordy's around.
Of course.
Right? But when it's just Jay and I, we could review anime, like, again, a ton of time. It's not as fun trying to, convince Jay because he and I already like the same things.
We mostly like the same stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's just when Jordy gets, you know, all like stubborn and shit.
Yeah, but we want to save those for Jordy. We really do.
But for real though, like it's nice to talk about something different, you know, in our own opinions around the community and the fandom.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let us know in the comments if you're watching us on YouTube, if you like this kind of stuff and you want us to do more of it.
Yeah.
And then
that's sick. That was fun, man.
Yeah. So where can people find you, Jay?
At hanger.91 on Instagram, hanger91.bigcartel.com.
Sweet. And you guys can find me on Shmanime Pod. You guys know all that good stuff. Join the Discord, blah, blah, blah.
And Never Not Kittens.
And Never Not Kittens. My wife and I even run a kitten rescue, a nonprofit kitten rescue. So if you guys can donate to that, the link is below in our YouTube.
If you love kittens, you will be helping them directly.
Oh, before we end off, did you hear that theory of how anime is actually the reason why they look the way they do with the big eyes isn't actually to make them look like Caucasian or anything like that?
Make them look like cats?
To make them look like cats.
I believe it.
Yeah, because a lot of the proportions are very cat-like.
Cat-like. I get it.
Yeah.
I could buy it.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before, but I could believe it.
And that would totally, like, the Neko Girl thing would solidify the Neko Girl thing. Like
go watch
so
our
hard.
Elfin Light episode, guys, for that one.
Yeah,
okay?
the Elfin Light one.
We'll talk about Neko Girls there.
Yeah. And then next week, we'll be back. Jay and I are actually going to pit our 5v5 team.
Yeah, but it's going to be sidekicks, right?
What it is
side characters.
It's not. It doesn't have to be side characters. It's characters that are not OP. So we can't pick like guys like Goku, Saitama, or Geto, or like people.
So secondary characters. You're not talking main. No MCs.
Well, it could be an MC that is weaker.
Yeah, that's rare though.
Yeah,
by all means.
But as long as
But I'll be surprised if you have an MC on your list.
Like say Yuji, for example. He's not OP as Geto.
Okay, but
Yuji is.
But you also know he will be.
Okay, guys. Well, we're gonna hash out what the actual like the bars are.
It's gonna be a sick versus episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna pit our teams against each other
and see who would actually win.
See who can put together a better team.
Yeah, a better sidekick team or better like lower mid-tier team.
If you guys have watched our, funnily enough, our waifu or top has bando episode, yes. We have those.
Yeah.
It'll be similar to that, where we're going to come with our teams and we're going to kind of debate who would win.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'll be fun, I promise.
I don't know if we should do 5v5 or 3v3 because it's usually the trio is a big trope, right?
It'll depend on the rules that you decide on and how many I can think up.
Okay.
But either way, guys, we promise it'll be a good time. It'll just be a lot of fun and just kind of loose. And while we wait for Jordy to get back, and we love him and miss him and wish him all the best.
And if there's anything else you guys want us to talk about or have any suggestions, I mean, I've got tons of ideas, but if you guys have anything,
tell us.
Yeah.
We're all ears.
Yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for coming out. Bye.